Cool. Next game up is BYU Arizona. It's a neutral game. It's in Glendale, Arizona. I think a lot of people probably think, oh, then Arizona's going to have more fans there. If it's your first time ever following BYU, that's not always the case. They're a religious school. They travel really well. They have members of their church just about everywhere, Arizona especially. And I've heard that the ticket sale and count is actually in favor of BYU, so they might even have more fans there. And that might be why it's moved some, probably not, but they were +1 or so. And just today moved to -1. So kind of moved through the pick, not very significant numbers in general, but BYU has gotten some money today. It's Thursday. For me, it's stay away. I have it actually exactly BYU -1, so it's closer to my number now. But it's a team that I've talked about regularly on shows and some videos I've done. But in a nutshell, lost their head coach Bronco Mendenhall, who'd been there I think for about 12 years, to Virginia. He also took the offensive coordinator Robert Anae with him to Virginia. So they got Kalani Sitake, who I was the number one option I wanted them to hire as a BYU guy. That's exactly what I wanted. But it's just a tough spot in general for him, not only week one, but just in the season in general with their schedule. It's the toughest they've ever had. They're an independent school. They play the likes of, Arizona is one of their easier games. I mean, they play at Michigan State, they have UCLA, at Boise State, Cincinnati, Mississippi State, West Virginia. I mean, there's just so many teams on the. I'm probably forgetting one or two too that I think their easiest game on the schedule through the first 9 or 10 games is like Toledo, and Toledo's like a MAC contender. So it's just really really brutal to have a new guy who's never coached before, and not only sorry I kind of was losing my train of thought a little bit, so hopefully you can jump back with me. The new head coach is defensive minded. His offensive coordinator he hired because the offensive coordinator left with Bronco Mendenhall is Ty Detmer, who has been coaching high school football in Texas successfully apparently, but it's his first time ever calling plays. They're implementing now a pro style type offense versus the spread up tempo, run as many plays as you can, running quarterback Taysom Hill style offense. And now they're having Taysom Hill, they announced, as the starter despite injury last year under center, which is not really a very great fit. I'm actually surprised he won the job, to be honest. It might end up being Tanner Mangum's before the season ends. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So I just think there's a lot of new happening at BYU. So for a season, they're one of my favorite under bets I've made as far as the season wins goes at 7.5 and 8. I know now it's mostly like 7 and maybe some plus money sevens. I still think those are good bets. I think maybe you push occasionally, but I still think they're winning less than 7 games. And then this week one matchup, why would I back a team that I'm really down on in general? Maybe would look to back Arizona, and that's something that I may consider doing if this keeps getting BYU up to -2. You know, generally wouldn't take a +1.5 or 2. I would just take +105 or 115, whatever it ends up being on the money line. I think Arizona is going to take care of business, honestly. It'll be interesting to see where this line goes. And the totals come down about 3 points, which I think is right. Obviously, you have new philosophy system, BYU's offense. They're going to obviously slow it down too. In general, they said they're not going to be going as up tempo. So the number coming down makes sense from the 63 here at 60.5 now. But I think that's everything I try to cover really quickly because I have a lot more details as far as BYU stuff goes typically. So yeah, I'll wait and see. If I make a play in this game, maybe I'll post it for free or I'll post it for some action since I always watch every BYU game. But I'm currently feeling like waiting and maybe getting plus money Arizona is the best play. Yeah, that's everything. Move on to the next game.